Hi there, it's Wendy Hernandez with Command the Courtroom. In this week's video, I want to talk with you about scary judges. So I have been practicing law for over 20 years, and in my career there was one judge who actually made me cry, and that was very early in my career. And it was a woman judge. I've been in front of her since then, and I have to say, every time I go in front of her, my palms still get sweaty. My stomach still jumps a little inside. My heart gets racing just because she freaks me out. She makes me nervous. She is not the nicest judge. She's not the warmest judge. She tells it how it is. And sometimes I think she's just downright rude. And, you know, I know as somebody who's representing yourself, you're not used to being in front of judges all the time like I am. So the thought of being in front of a judge is probably just terrifying, even more terrifying than the thought of being in front of this judge for me. So just want to give you a few helpful hints if you feel like you're scared about going in front of your judge, or you're going in front of a judge who's really scary. And by the way, I have to tell myself this stuff when I'm going in front of judges who freak me out, and I'm going in front of one next week. So the first thing to remember is that however the judge is acting in your case or towards you, especially if it's a scary judge, is probably not personal. It's probably just the way the judge is. So you have to look at what you're going into in the courtroom as kind of business, and the judge is conducting business and you're conducting business, and just don't take it personal. Don't think that it's about you. You know, especially if a judge is rude or mean, that's about them. The second thing is especially when you're going in front of a judge who's kind of scary, is don't speak out of line. Only speak when the judge asks you to speak. And by all means, never, never, never interrupt the judge. If there's something that I want to say and the judge hasn't told me, okay, Ms. Hernandez, go ahead and talk, what I do is I stand up and I ask the judge for permission to speak. And I say, Judge, may I speak, please? And I get the judge's permission. But don't interrupt. Don't speak out of line. Do not sass back under any circumstances. There's a lot of cases or situations where I don't agree with what a judge is saying. I think a judge is wrong. I don't like the way the judge is treating me. I don't like the way the judge is treating my client. But the fact of the matter is in the courtroom, the judge is the one that holds the power. And if you get on the wrong side of the judge, not only could the judge hold it against you in your court proceeding that you're in, but for the duration of your case, or as long as the judge is assigned to your case. And you just don't want to do it to yourself. You don't want to do that. We all want to be right. Sometimes we want to prove our point, but it's just not worth it getting on the wrong side of the judge. Now, I don't want you to think that you cannot speak your mind and disagree with the judge, but there's a way to do it politely. And doing it politely is by doing it by asking for permission to speak and prefacing what you're saying by statements like, Your Honor, with all due respect, or Your Honor, I respect what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but, and then you go on and prove your point. So even with this judge that I dealt with many years ago when I was in my 20s that made me cry, there have been times actually since then when I've turned her around. And there have been times when I've been in front of her since then when I felt like crying again. But, you know, I held my ground. I knew what was best in my client's case, or what point my client wanted to prove, or what was fair or in the interest of justice, or in the best interest of the kids. And I knew I had to get that information out to the judge. And when you speak politely to your judge and respect your judge, sometimes you can turn them around. Sometimes you can change their mind. But above all, remember that your judge is a human being too. You don't know what struggles your judge is going through or has been through in the past. Maybe your judge has gone through his or her own ugly divorce or custody battle. Maybe your judge is dealing with family issues. Maybe your judge has cancer. You just never know. Judges are human. They're not perfect. They're people. So remember that, especially when you're feeling scared about going in front of your judge. I hope this helped. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. be sure and go to commandthecourtroom.com and check out the resources on how you can represent yourself in the family law courtroom. Until next week, keep on trucking and remember to command the courtroom.